First of all, I make art because I love it. My relationship with art has been like the deepest companionship that I've experienced in my life. Throughout all of the different changes, losses, joys, every emotion and every experience that I've had in my life, art making has been a part of that. Drawing was really my first love as a creative practice. It is definitely the thread that ties together all of the art making activities I do. And so when I'm thinking about what to draw or what kind of subject matter really moves me, I've also always been inspired by nature and the natural world. And so I started being an artist when I was a little kid in Ohio, spending a lot of time in the woods, picking flowers, making drawings of plants and leaves and branches and rocks in the stream behind my parents' house. And that kind of infatuation with the patterns and colors of all of the different objects that I saw in the natural world just translated to finding beauty in lots of different things. So it started with nature and it turned into beautiful women and clothing and jewelry and all kinds of different places where I found what was beautiful to me and used that to make more beautiful objects. So the basis of all of my ceramic work is wheel throwing. I've done a lot of functional objects out of clay by throwing dinner bowls and serving dishes. And I love the part of making artwork where people get to use a beautiful object that's handmade in their home, especially to eat food out of. And then that developed into throwing closed forms that I would then sculpt ears and noses and mouths and other anthropomorphic elements out of. And so using the wheel as the basis of all my work, then I developed another layer to incorporate this process called sgraffito. And the idea behind it is you throw a piece and you let it set up a little bit and then you stain it. And then I have a canvas that I can make this two-toned image with. It almost looks like a woodcut. It's a very physical process. So once I decide what the subject matter is going to be, whether it's a passion flower or a face or, you know, some interesting plant that I saw when I was traveling, I carve this line drawing into the stained part of the clay, and it just makes a physical relief design that has a tactile quality that's interesting to me. My education in glass started in high school. A friend's dad was taking glassblowing classes in downtown Cleveland, and it sounded interesting. So I took some classes and then decided I really wanted to pursue art making more seriously and went to the Rhode Island School of Design, declared glass as my major, and then from that point on was just totally obsessed with working with glass and have continued on till now. Glass as a material is particularly compelling for me just because it is the most magical, fascinating material I've ever come in contact with in my life. It has so many contrasting qualities that together make something so dynamic and interesting. It's at once reflective and clean and shiny and beautiful and fragile, but it's also hot and dangerous, and you have to work fast and you need a lot of strength and agility. So I love the union of feminine and masculine process coming together. After many years of working with clay and doing sgraffito with clay, I really was sort of dreaming of a way that I could translate that into glass. The first step when I'm making my line drawing pieces is to blow a vessel that becomes like a canvas. So I have an interior color and then a thin skin of a contrasting exterior color that I sift onto the outside as one of the final steps that we do when the piece is hot. So once that cools, I can really transform it into whatever I want. I love the idea of having my original line drawings on the surface of vessels that I blow in the hot shop. And so I discovered this light-sensitive adhesive film that allows me to make a freehand line drawing on a transparency, make a photographic print of that onto this light-sensitive adhesive film, and then that's like a custom stencil that I can stick onto the surface of a glass vessel that I've made and sandblast, and then reproduce an exact replica of that original line drawing onto the vessel. The reason that I'm sort of moved to continue working with clay and glass is that they kind of represent the two sides of my personality. Working with clay is cool and it's private. It's a thought-provoking, kind of more emotionally driven process for me because I'm doing it alone, and usually it takes days or weeks to get one piece finished. And in contrast to that, working with glass is a social activity. I have one or two or sometimes three assistants working with me. We listen to music, we talk. It's very physical. We're working in a team, it's collaborative. And so it's much, the demand of the physical element of it overrides what would be sort of a more emotional, introspective element that I get out of working with clay. It has been really empowering for me, and it's been positive to carve out a place for myself in the glass world and be part of the transition from it being a very male-dominated activity to something where there are lots of talented, visionary women making significant contributions to the glass movement. Without art making, my life would be totally meaningless.